right. Side lying, advanced Thai moves. Have your client roll onto their side. Give them a pillow. I like to pick up their head and place the pillow under their head for them. Have them straighten their bottom leg and have their top leg bent, kind of a 90-degree angle with the knee, so that as I'm pressing, they've got their knee down here to keep them from flopping over onto their belly. So for you, knees toward their head, and very gently place your hand under their arm. Place the palm of your hand on their anterior deltoid. You have got some moves here. Other hand on the top of their shoulder blade. And so these are circles with the whole shoulder girdle, using my whole body. And a lot of people try to help, so you just give a little wiggle until they relax their arm. I love this move. So basically, I'm with my whole body drawing a circle. As I lean back, I kind of tug on the top of their shoulder. As I lean over to the side, there's pressure on the front of their shoulder. As I lean forward in my body mechanics, I sort of press on their shoulder blade to guide their shoulder up, and then as I lean over, I can put a little pressure on the top of the shoulder blade, infraspinatus. So, but it's a clean, smooth, circular movement. There's no place where you can feel that kind of choppiness. It's all this smooth, circular movement. Then the other direction, go clockwise and counterclockwise, using your hands to put a little pressure in there and do those shoulder circles. A lot of times when you get to this move where it's like you're ironing out behind the shoulder blade, this can feel really chunky. There can be some adhesions in here. So sometimes I'll just iron it out back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it sort of smooths out. Great. I love, love, love that move. From there, straighten the arm along their side of their body. And then palm pressing, simple palm pressing. So one hand on the upper arm, one hand on the lower arm. And of course, I would be directly like this, but I'm showing you. Palm, 1, 1, 2, 2, go down, 3, 3, go back up, 2, 2, 1, 1. And so that's palm pressing on the side of the arm. Back to this position where the knees are toward the head. Use one hand to sort of guide the shoulder away from the ear. Use your other hand to draw circles in the cervical area. I like to start at the base of the spine. The base of the skull, base of the cranium, and draw circles. So I'm not doing anything except moving my body like this. Everything's sort of leveraged. I'm actually even leveraging my elbow on my knee here, if that makes sense to you. Little circle, move down an inch. Little circle, move down an inch. All the way down the side of the neck. I hope you're getting that. Suppose you can go up and down a few times depending on if the neck is an area that they need attention. So I'm doing my best not to muscle, just trying to feel with my thumb where there's some tension or A little bit of adhesion. You don't have to do very deep work here. And don't be scared. You can find a spot where there might need some attention and hang out there for a little bit, especially those attachment sites down at C7, right? So circles on the top of the shoulders with one finger right next to C7 and the other one. And so start sort of at C7 and cervical 7 and then just walk millimeter at a time, an inch at a time, circling down, using my body all the way down to supraspinatus. Just that little dip in the shoulder. All right. I'm going to have you roll over to this next part. And I can show you an advanced way to roll your clients over from side to side here too. So use your hand to grab the front of their knee, roll them onto their back, hand under their opposite knee, both knees into center, and then straighten the one leg and take the other leg across the body, and then look, they're on the other side. And then her head's off the pillow, so so I'll lift up the head and put the pillow there for them. Good. Sometimes people need a pillow under this top knee. So again, the same thing. I am. This knee is like the kickstand for her whole body, so that it doesn't flop over. So that's a transition move you can work on. Hip stuff. I love offering some hip stuff when they're at their side. So forearm presses right on that tensor fascia lata muscle, tensor fascia latae, I jokingly call the coffee muscle. Hands is relaxed, karate chopping across the TFL. You can basically draw 3 or 4 lines across the whole glute area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other move, I'm on my knees here and just pressing down with palms, palm pressing. Finding just the right areas to create that palm press. This is what I love about Thai massage. I can press down really deep, but just for a second, and then I come off. You know, pressing down. If I were to press down this hard and hang out there and do a trigger point, it would be too much. But because I can create this rhythmic rocking, this leaning on and leaning off, I can get really deep. And it doesn't make them grimace. It doesn't make them want to cry or hit me or it doesn't create pain. It just creates really nice kind of stop in the flow and then an opening. So sort of just use the eyes of your hands to feel around where that would feel good. So all these advanced moves you would sprinkle out through your basic Thai massage sequence. So from this side, I want to show you that same palm pressing move. One hand at the upper arm, one hand pretty much right on the crease of the elbow. One of my pet peeves in massage is like when the massage therapist doesn't quite go all the way to the edge, like they'll stop before the actual attachment sites. So that 1, 1, palm press, 2, 2, elephant walking, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then this is the next move, taking the arm over the head. And then more rotator cuff stuff. I love working rotator cuff and hip at the same time. So first, just create some length through the side body, and this is great for pregnancy massage too. Creating like so, crisscross my forearms, come up onto my knees, and then as I lean forward, I press my hands, but the pressure is going away from my hands are going away from each other. So kind of got the bony prominence of the hip and the bony prominence of shoulder blade, and so I can kind of lengthen the sides and then walk down an inch and get the same kind of move. If they're really long, if you have short arms and they have a long torso, then you can just take one hand on the hip, one hand on the upper body, and then kind of lean in. I've got my elbows in my ribs, so that's my leverage. And then as I lean forward, put pressure through my palms of my hand and then guide the fingertips, my fingertips away from each other. And then the next move are these flipping of my palms. So I've got one forearm right on this infraspinatus, top of the shoulder blade. One forearm on my hip, on their hip. And it's just palm down, palm up, lean on, palm up, lean off. So I'm rocking back and forth onto my knees and forearms. Feel like hips and rotator cuff can never get too much massage, because oftentimes they're sort of, especially on table massage, kind of, we miss out on the hips and the shoulder blades on often. Good. I've got some moans, so that's a good sign. Next move here is just some palm presses on the back. So the heel of my hand is right on the other side of the spine. This is a similar move to the elephant walking palm presses that we did when the client is prone. But I'm just doing it from a side lying position now, using my elbows as leverage, rocking on, rocking off. My hands are relaxed, sort of going up and down. Again, that action is my fingertips are going away from the spine. The one thing that I love about this is I can get a little more through that behind the shoulder blade area, which kind of when they're face down on the table or even on the mat, there's not as much kind of give here with the shoulder blade. So it's like I'm kneading dough, right? I can get the heel of my hand right on the line of the shoulder blade right there, and even at the spine and the top of the shoulder blade, I can get all the way around the shoulder blade. So this move is great for if you've got someone who has really intense tenderness on the shoulder blade. Actually, it looks like I'm kneading dough too. Great. So leaning on, leaning off. If you find any crunchy spots, you can kind of use the heel of your hand to peel the shoulder blade away from the spine, lengthening the whole area behind the shoulder blade. Last advanced move I'm going to show you for this side lying position is actually taking the pec stretch. So hand on the eye of the elbow, pick up your knee, place the hand, the back of the hand on your thigh. Interlace your fingers, press here And basically it's just a pec stretch and then kind of a twist. So I've got my thigh on their hip, on their sacrum, and then hand on the pec. So I'm sort of massaging the palm of their hand with the heel of my hand and then pressing on their pec. I lean on, I lean off. I'm pressing with my palm too. So, and then you can take it to a full twist. Keep your hip right here and then one hand on their knee and one hand on their shoulder. So then you're giving them a twist from sideline position. All right. Advanced side lying moves.